And we are live. Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesday. We are just like a minute early, but we are anxious to start this great series, Wealth Building Wednesday. Hi, I'm Sheila Cahoon, and I am from Remax First. I'm a real estate agent in Michigan. And here today and every Wednesday, we have Kate DeLito, and she is the EQ coach. And so, Kate, can you share a little bit about yourself and then what is EQ coach?
Okay, absolutely. Well, first I'll start with the Money EQ Coach,
Mhm.
because you probably want to know what that is first. EQ is emotional quotient, and I was actually in the financial industry for 25 plus years in all different capacities.
Mm.
And what I saw over all of that time is that people's financial choices are very rooted in their emotional decisions, right? So, whether it's instant gratification or fear or whatever it is, but it is rooted in your emotions. So, emotional quotient. So, I'm a money emotional quotient coach. And
Wow.
yes, so having been in the industry in all different capacities,
Mhm.
I just a little bit about me, because I do believe that if you're going to take any information at all from anyone, you should know the source.
Right.
Um, I retired in 2020 before the age of 50, and was the director of operations and compliance for a fiduciary based firm. And in our future wealth building Wednesdays, we'll talk about what all that means. But but um, suffice it to say, I've seen a lot, done a lot in the financial world. And now my mission is really to help people take the confusing and scary out of personal finance. My mission is to coach and educate people to be able to make great financial decisions for themselves.
That's awesome. And
Yeah,
really, you and I met last week, and I reached out to you because I was questioning, the whole Dave Ramsey series
yeah,
and just financial stability and things like that. Because I've
yeah.
seen in my real estate business a lot of times, especially in the younger generation, the fact that they don't know how to build wealth. And honestly,
Correct.
I didn't learn it until much later in life, or begin to learn it much later in life. So, and they're not teaching it in schools, obviously.
They're really
So
not.
right. So I really wanted, after talking last week, I really thought that instead of like me learning stuff, I thought, well, you have this great knowledge and
Sure.
I can't have it. But you have it. And I thought that we could share that with people, to, possibly have you help them, or at least, the tips that you provide to them, they could start to begin to build that wealth for themselves. Obviously it takes time. It's not an overnight process, but I'm just so grateful that you said yes to this, and that we are doing this right
Of
now, and
course.
that I'm hoping that many people find at least nuggets that they can make changes to in their everyday lives to help
Right.
them build the wealth. So,
Yeah.
with
Absolutely.
yeah, with
Absolutely.
that, let's get started on today's session. And that session is about budget and net worth. So,
Mhm.
the first thing that we're going to talk about, and this is really in all aspects of everyday, like when you're trying to make a change in your life, right? Whether
Yeah,
it be eating differently, or exercising, or business, or whatever, you have to have the first thing you have to have is a mindset shift, right? So,
absolutely.
so can you share a little bit about that?
Definitely. One of the biggest things around mindset is recognizing where you're currently at, your current mindset, and how you're making choices. And exactly like you said, Sheila, whether it's around the D word diet, or um, whatever new habit you want to build, you have to shift your mindset first, because otherwise you'll go through all this work, but you will default to what's comfortable and what is known, right? So
Right.
if you are in a mindset of, I can't save money, or I don't know how it works, or I've never been good with numbers. That has to shift first. So really the way to do that is to start recognizing those thoughts, your thought patterns, right? So your mindset and your relationship with money really roots way back to childhood, to all sorts of different things. And that's a whole hour conversation.
We gotta
And
unravel.
it is. It's a whole thing. But
Therapy
really, what you
session.
want to do is acknowledge where you're at and then begin to make the shift. Replace your negative thought patterns around money, or, like I said, whatever it is, with more positive thought patterns. So if you're thinking to yourself, I've never been good with money, or I don't have enough to save, I bet you do. We just have to find it. Um, you have to start shifting that to more positive thoughts, like, I'm learning every day. I'm working towards building my financial future. I'm setting up a strong foundation. I will get there. It's going to take time, and the D word, discipline, which everybody loves, right? Because
My word of the
we
year. My word
love
of the year.
instant gratification in this world we live in today. But
Yeah.
really, those who succeed have discipline to work at small steps every day. So just taking the first steps of identifying the thought process, and really rewiring your brain. And it's called neuroplasticity. I've done a ton of research on it because it's fascinating to me. You can rewire your brain to be more positive going forward in your life on any
Yeah.
topic, right? And once you
Yep.
start with one, you'll find it working with others. So when you start to remove the bad thoughts or catch them and replace them with a positive thought, then things become more easy, more fun, actually. That's why I talk about turning your budget, and we'll talk more about that, into a strategy. Nobody wants a budget, right? You set up a budget, that's like setting up a diet for me.
Right.
I give you a week on your budget and you're done. That's like
Right.
telling me I can't eat carbs. I
Exactly.
love carbs. I believe they make the world go round. So, really, what you need to do is think about, okay, what's my strategy and what's the end goal? And then shift your mindset. So, the mindset shift goes from, okay, this budget, which nobody wants to deal with, right? And it feels very limiting, to a strategy of knowing where your money's going and how it's working for you. So there's a shift in that. When you have a strategy, your brain says, okay, well, this coffee today, or this shirt at Target, or whatever it is,
Right.
does that fit in my strategy?
Mm.
Right? And then you make a
Mm.
choice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because what you're choosing is your future financial success or instant gratification right now. Because how many times have we gone, oh, I want this, whatever, whatever, whatever.
Oh,
And
that
it's
looks
an impulse buy.
beautiful. Yeah.
And then you get home and you go, it doesn't fit right, or I didn't really like it anyway. And it's not really, right? Now you
Yeah.
got to return it, which I happen to know lots of people don't even do that. So it's like, it's one of those things where you got to shift the mindset to a more positive, I'm doing this for myself and for my future, right?
And doing that strategy, you know, gives you that pause, right? Because they always say,
It
"Pause
does.
before you make a decision," because
Mhm.
it gives
Right.
you time to think instead of making that instant gratification decision like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it." You
Mhm.
need to pause and think about your strategy. So that
100%.
makes perfect sense. And the one thing I did find when I was changing my mindset, and like I said, it's not an overnight thing,
No.
is you begin to so you what'll happen is you'll think about this strategy thing. Okay. You might not realize it in the first 15 or 20 minutes, right? Or
Right.
maybe in the first day. Okay. But at some point you'll be like, "Oh, shoot, I didn't think of that." And so each time that happens where you're thinking about that strategy, the time between that will get less and less and
Yes.
less and less and less. It's
Correct.
it's actually a process in
It
order
is.
to do that, to
It's a
change that
practice.
mindset shift. Yes.
It's
It's
practice. It's
yes.
like learning a sport. or yoga or what, whatever you want to fill in there.
Yeah.
Steve Eiserman wasn't great at hitting the net when he first picked up the stick, right?
Right.
So it's practice.
And
And
everybody,
then it becomes to be second nature to you.
but everybody can't. Like, for people to say they can't save money, or I don't make enough or whatever, like that is already a negative statement. Like,
Correct.
every single person can do this. Every single person. Every
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. The key is knowing what you have coming in and knowing what you have going out and where it's been going, so that you can, if you don't know, you can't make good choices. Right.
Right.
And I do tell people, draw the line in the sand, figure out this is the first step I do with all clients, all courses, all everything. We start with the beginning, right? We have to know where you are to be able to figure out the strategy to get where you want to go. So that leads us right into the worksheets, right?
Right.
It's the
I do
whole,
have a question though. So strategy and goal, are they the same thing?
well, no, because the goal is going to be ultimately what you want to achieve,
Mhm.
whether that's having an emergency fund, saving for retirement, and everybody has multiple goals, right?
Right.
So putting the strategy together is saying, okay, I'm going to have every single dollar work for me the best that I can,
So
right?
the
And
strategy is the step by
it
step.
is the step by step.
Okay.
It's the cutting
Process.
back on this to save towards that. It's paying down the debt or paying off your house or however
Okay.
your strategy, and everybody's is different,
Okay.
um, to move forward. Some people are super comfortable investing in the market, and some people go, ooh, not my thing, right? There's a mazillion variables to that, right?
Right.
It's like your fingerprint. Everybody's emotional connection to money and how risk adverse they are, or um, their ability to replace funds if they're lost or whatever. All of it is very individual. So that's why it's putting together your own personal strategy. What works for one isn't going to work for another. And just quickly, you mentioned Dave Ramsey.
Mhm.
And while I think he's done absolutely fabulous things for a lot of people, I do feel like there are other ways. So
Okay.
um, he tends to be very, very strict and do this, and do this, where I feel like you need to have an element of feeling success and fun and something to look forward to in your strategy as well. Your plan to get from A to Z doesn't have to be miserable, right?
Yeah.
Not all of it's going to be fun necessarily, but it doesn't have to be absolutely miserable. So
Well, and
just my
discipline, I mean, you got here because it was easy. Now you have to do the work, right? And
right,
that is discipline. So,
right,
easy isn't always a good thing. So that's what I
no,
always tell my son.
right,
So let's talk about the budget sheet, because you had
okay,
brought that up. Let's talk about the budget sheet that you're gonna be able to give them a link to get.
yes,
So do you want me to bring that up right now?
sure.
Okay.
I will grab the link over here. Oh, you know what? I changed the link. So I'm going to have to redo that in a second. I will pop that in the comments in a moment. But okay, so this is just one of the pages of the downloadable, I guess, worksheets that you will be able to get a hold of. And what it is putting together and your budget and your net worth and drawing that line in the sand. I do want to spend a couple of minutes talking about how to fill this out because I find when people fill it out and clients that I work with one-on-one send it back to me, it's haphazard. Some stuff's done, some's not. So first of all, we all know garbage in, garbage out, right? So
Right.
make sure that if you're going to do this and put this together for yourself, really understand when you sit down to do it that it's not fun. Let's just get that out of the way. It's really not fun. Nobody wants to see where all of their money goes to cable and this, that, and the other, and whatever. It's really not fun. But what I'm hoping it will do is make you more aware of how much is going out versus what's coming in, because you'll see at the top of this, it does say income,
Mhm.
right? So what the goal is to see in its entirety where your money's been going. So when you're filling this out, it is not to say, okay, this is what I want to spend in the future. This is the first step, is to see where it has been going. So my recommendation is to take a look back at the last month or 3 months and average those numbers and plop them in there. Really, it is important to go back and look at your bank statements, credit card statements, however you pay bills, spend money, things like that. And account for the cash too, because that, it's just the same as money.
Right.
so, just,
Right. Yeah.
so you need to make sure that you see where your funds are going. If you can't identify that, which some people cannot because it's just all over the place, then for a month, track everything. And like I said, garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you're struggling with this, just write down, grab a good old plain old paper and write out all of these columns, and then the last 3 months, and then average them out, and then plop the numbers in there, right?
Right.
And then ultimately what you're going to find is you will have income coming in and funds going out. Now, some of those funds are never going to change, right? You're always, well,
Right.
not always, but probably likely at this point have a house payment or insurance payments and things like that. Those don't change a whole lot, right?
Mhm.
But things are variable, like groceries, gas, things like that. So just keep an eye on the variable ones and kind of make a side note to yourself. If you think, oh, yeah, this month I've spent a lot on groceries, then maybe the last 2 months. But is that a trend? And really just think about that and be honest with yourself, because this isn't coming back to me or to Sheila or anybody else. This is strictly
Right.
for you,
Right.
to be able to jot down and take a look at where you stand. So when you fill all of this out, and there is a section for the budget, there's a section for debt, like credit cards and that sort of thing. And then there's a net worth. And the net worth is really going to be impactful as you move forward and build your strategy to be the measurement, right? Because as
Mhm.
you pay down debts and save, whether that's an emergency fund or towards retirement or what have you, you should see your net worth grow over time.
Right.
That would be the goal.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Questions on that?
That is a lot, but when you write things down, and again, going back to the whole diet thing, when you write things down, it holds you accountable, and that's
Yeah.
really kind of what this creating your budget does, is
Mm-hmm.
is it holds you accountable to see the expenses that are going out. Same thing if you were looking at your time management, like how much time you spend on social media and things. Like
Absolutely.
if you write it all down, you're like, "Well, I'm really not that busy," you know?
Right.
So so yeah, this is really, really beneficial.
It's crazy. Okay.
So
So
they are gonna do this, they're gonna do it one time, right? This just personal financial statement will be one time, or is this something they do every month?
well, what I would do is I would set this up. This isn't set up to be a tracker, that we have those too, but this is your initial, let's take a draw the line in the sand, plant the flag, however you want to put it. But this
Mhm.
is how you're going to establish your starting point. And on a side note, Sheila, I put in the private chat, because it won't let me put in the comments, the link.
Oh,
Um,
okay. We will get that link to you in the comments of this video. So, if you're looking at this at a later time, in the comments will be the link to her, to the actual budget sheet that you can use.
yep,
So just sign up for that and get that. That's a free thing Kate's giving out today. So
yep, absolutely.
perfect, perfect.
So with these sheets, ultimately, you can do it every month. You can track by this every month. You can estimate out over time, however you want to use it. I do have different trackers that we have set up, that's a whole other day. But this certainly can work to do that. The goal really with this is the first look, the snapshot at where are you now? And then the next conversation is how do we get to where you want to go? What is the strategy? Once you get this put together, then you want to take a look at, where is your money going? And be honest with yourself.
Mhm.
Don't say, oh, well, last month my, eating out was a little high because of this. If you think that's the case, then go the month before and look at it, right? So a lot of people go, oh, December, I spent so much in December. Oh, but November was a lot too. And October could be. And is it a trend, or is it really just that 1 month? So challenge yourself. I feel like this is for most people, they go, the budget, no. And I put the B word on there because at this point it is the B word, right? We
Right.
haven't created the strategy yet. So
And let's be honest, like, if you don't do this, then you might as well not do it, right?
100%. And if you're not going to be accurate with your numbers
Right.
that you put in here,
Mhm.
that only you are going to see,
Right.
and if you're not going to be honest with yourself there, then
You might as well not do it.
don't
I
even
mean,
bother.
and that's not being mean to people. Like, people have to stop thinking like, "Oh, that's mean." That's not being mean. What that is doing is holding you accountable. Like you have got to just reflect and say, "Listen, I got here. I got to fix it, and this is the way to do it."
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. It's, in fact, it's a good thing. People have to stop thinking like, "Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up. It's a bad thing." No, you actually taking that first step. Just
It's
like
a
if you were
great
going to
thing.
take that first step on a mile walk every day. It's that first
Mhm.
step that actually counts.
It's I also spend time with clients talking about, how they've gotten to where they are, right?
Mhm.
Because if that's not addressed, you're going to get back there, right?
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
if you have bad money habits and then you spend the time and the effort and the energy to fix them without spending the time to talk about how you got to where you are,
Yep,
you will find yourself back there.
yep.
I have many clients who have said to me, "Oh, absolutely. I've gotten myself out of debt, and I've built up, emergency fund and retirement fund and da da da, and then I got myself right back in it." And it
Mhm.
happens for all sorts of reasons, but understand that. So we also address, how did you get here? Because um, it's hugely important
Yeah.
to overcome that and be able to say, okay, you know what? You can only make choices with the information that you know,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you don't know better, you can't do better. But now
Mm.
that you know better and
You
we've
don't do it again.
addressed the past, then you can make better choices going forward and not live the same year again.
Right,
Right? You want to
right, and
get
and
better and move
honestly,
forward. And that's the goal, is
right.
to improve your situation.
And the fact is a lot of people didn't learn this in school, or they may
Oh
have
no,
not been taught something like this by their parents or something like that, and that's okay. I mean, it's about taking this step right now and moving forward, not looking back
absolutely.
and saying what I didn't have, what I didn't do, or anything like that. It's about being that
Absolutely.
that positive mindset shift and saying, "This is what I'm doing moving forward."
Yeah.
So,
Forgive
yeah.
your past,
Yeah.
draw the line in the sand and move
Amen.
forward.
Amen. Woo, I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. All right.
Yeah.
So the next thing is so we were filling out the budget sheet. So net worth at the moment. So you went over that pretty
Yep.
much, right? Had this other slide I wanted to bring to the stage.
Yes. Well, my disclaimer. Yep. So
Oh, okay.
I
All
usually
right.
do
I
that at the
just want
end,
to
but
make sure that
or
we
at the
hit
very
everything.
beginning. But basically, because I was in the financial world and most recently retired from running compliance, I do throw this out there. The Wealth Building Wednesday series, all correspondence from me and information provided by myself or Monday EQ coach are just that information, thoughts, and ideas shared. Before you make any financial, tax, or legal decisions, please contact your advisor per your specific situation. I've said it before. I'll
Perfect.
say it again.
Well, I appreciate this so much. I'm gonna end there. I would just ask if anybody does have questions after we end this video, please put them in the chat. It's gonna be tagged in this video, so she'll get those questions. And you can always, Kate, where can they contact you if, let's say, they're like, oh, I can't wait for the next video. I really need some help, or I just have some questions. Where can they connect with you at?
Okay. Well, my website is money and then the letter E, letter Q. So it's moneyeqcoach.com. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at moneyeqcoach.com as well.
So it's moneyeq.com?
Yeah. Money EQ Coach.
Coach.com.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I just wanted to bring it up so people knew what website they would be on. So let me see if I can bring that up and present it, share my screen. And I just want people to know that they're at the right place. So
Yeah.
we're just going to do share screen 1, share screen. And
Whoa.
yeah, we look psychedelic. So here is Kate's website. So
There it is.
that's when you know you're at the right site. So just make sure you go and check it out. And that is moneyeqcoach.com. So go there, and even if you even if you can't reach her by phone or didn't get her phone, go there. Just go there and connect with her. So all right. So we're going to end on this. Next week, we are doing a Wealth Building Wednesday, and I'm just going to share the entire slide for credit and how it impacts your finances. So what we're going to go over is where to get a free credit report. What do different scores mean? Credit pitfalls, how credit can affect your home purchase, and then and then we're going to promote the next week video after that. I put that in there just to keep us on task, right?
Keep us moving in the right direction.
Right. So we want to make sure that we're, like I said, that we're just providing you value each and every week for free. And if you ever have questions, you can always reach out to either Kate or myself, and you can reach me at milocalrealty.com. Thank you so much, Kate. I really appreciate you, and I hope everybody has an amazing week. Kate, any last thoughts?
Well, go ahead and download your worksheets, and if you have any questions, you can reach out through the website. My email is on the worksheets, so it's all there.
All right, everyone, have a great day.
You too.